Karen steals my wheelchair because her son is tired and wants to sit in it. Here's what happened. Subscribe to Am I the Jerk on YouTube and hit the bell for notifications. Hey y'all, so this happened a few days ago and I'm just now feeling decent enough to type it out for everyone. Not an entitled mother-induced issue, just me being sick. I fly a lot. I've been surprised that the last couple times I haven't encountered any entitled people or jerks. In fact, it went pretty smoothly. I thought, oh wow, the curse is lifted. But we wouldn't be here if that had stayed the case, now would we? A few weeks ago, I hurt my ankle doing some filming and have been ordered to wear a boot and take it easy while my leg heals. I've been trying because I thought I'd be better by now, but the healing process on this injury is a slow one. I arrived at the airport and opted for a wheelchair given how much my foot was already hurting. I'm hobbling around in this giant boot, obviously injured, and now with a wheelchair. Probably best to leave me alone. Checking in and security goes fine. Everyone oohs and ahs at my cat while I take him out and hold him so security can do their thing. I don't blame them. My first son is a stunner and a cuddlebug. As they're swiping me for bomb residue, I see a little kid between 4 and 7, I guess. I'm bad with guessing ages for children. Nudges mom and point at me. I think nothing of it and put my fur baby back in his carrier and hobble my butt back over to the wheelchair. I grab my bag and shoe and I pop the carrier on my lap and we're good to head to the gate. I make some conversation with the guy helping me out, while I notice the kid and his mom also seem to have this gate. The guy helping me out finally parks me by the gate, and after petting my cat a bit, he heads off. Now it's very crowded. I don't think there's an open seat near our gate at all. If you haven't traveled with a wheelchair assist before, usually one of two things will happen. Either they leave you in the wheelchair by the gate and you can walk into the plane with the rest of the passengers when it's time, or in some cases they will directly wheel you to the plane door. This time I was left by the gate. I put the carrier on the ground next to me and make sure I have all my stuff from security. Eventually, I'm just messing around on my phone waiting for the flight when I feel a tap on my shoulder. I pull off my headphones. It's the entitled mother, protector of entitlement, 27,000th of her name, mother of Karens, and harbinger of doom, with her crotch goblin next to her. He seems to be interested in my cat, so I watch him slightly to make sure he doesn't hurt him. I don't mind him looking and playing peekaboo though. Entitled mother. Excuse me, hi, my name's Karen. Me. Oh, hi Karen. How's it going? Entitled mother looks shocked. First of all, I'd appreciate if you call me ma'am or Miss Karen. Learn some manners. Me. Okay. Did you need something, Karen? Entitled mother sighs. I asked you once to just... Anyways, that's not important right now. I need you to get up. Surprised that she dropped the ma'am thing. Maybe she really does need my help with something. Me. Is everything okay? Did I get rolled onto some of your stuff? I can move the chair so you can look if you need. Entitled mother. No, I don't need you to move the chair. I need you out of the chair. Me. May I ask why? Entitled mother getting peeved off. Well, aside from the fact that an adult is asking you for something and you should do it, if you must know, my son is tired and needs a place to sit. Excuse me? I'm not a child. I'm 25. I don't have to call her ma'am, and I certainly don't have to do what she says just because she's an adult. Obviously, I don't say that to her. I'm still respectful. Me with nervous laughter. Big mistake there. Oh, I'm sorry, but I think I'm just gonna stay in the chair. Entitled mother. You're laughing at my child's pain? What kind of trash are you? Me. No, sorry. You just caught me off guard. I thought you needed my help with something. Entitled mother. I do. I need you to get up so my baby can sit. Me. As I said, I'll be staying in my chair. Maybe there's some seats in between the gates where you and your son could sit and wait. Entitled mother. But he's tired. It's too far to find empty seats. There's only some at the food court. Me. And I'm injured. It would also be too far for me to walk to the food court area, only to walk back 15 minutes later. Entitled mother. We saw you standing in security. You can stand here. She hits the wall next to me for emphasis. You have somewhere to lean, so give us the chair. Me. No, please leave me alone. I will stay right here till it is time for me to go inside. Entitled mother. Really? You won't help a poor child? You're heartless. Me. Sure, if you say so. Put my headphones back on because this conversation is over. I'm done. She huffs and grabs her kid and walks away. The end. Just kidding. Not 2 minutes later, as I'm minding my own business, engrossed in my phone and ignoring the outside world, I feel this tug on my boot and then enormous pain going through my foot. What the F? This kid is trying to climb on top of me. He used my boot as a little step stool almost and tried to hop onto my lap. Obviously, the second time I felt him on me, I pushed him off out of instinct. I'm not a jungle gym. I pull out my headphones and the kid is on the ground crying in full tantrum mode. Entitled mother comes running, screaming, how could I attack her child? The flight attendant also saw the commotion and comes over to see what's wrong. Before I can say anything, entitled mother is sobbing to her. Entitled mother. She hurt my baby. She attacked him. I want her off this flight. Oh, baby, are you okay? Talking to her kid. Kid. Mommy, she didn't let me sit. You told me she would let me sit on her lap. Tell her to let me sit. Mommy. Starts making incoherent sheep noises. Entitled mother. See what you did? Just give us this seat. As of right now, I'm still in my chair, kid is on the ground, entitled mother is practically trying to shove me out of the chair. I'm in a fair amount of pain and now extremely peeved that this woman is making a scene. Flight attendant, ma'am, what exactly are you trying to do here? Entitled mother, I just need this chair. Look, tell her she'll be allowed to go on the plane again if she just gives me this chair. Flight attendant, ma'am, she's done nothing wrong. Please leave her alone. She's an injured traveler. The chair is for her. Entitled mother, the chair's for people who need it, and right now my son needs it. She's been rude and has attacked my son. If she won't give me her chair, I want her removed from the flight. Right now. Flight attendant, ma'am, you are harassing other passengers. That is not allowed. Now, I will give you one chance to calm down, apologize to this young lady, and hope that she doesn't wish to press charges. Entitled mother. Charges for what? Being a B-word? How is she even allowed on the plane with that thing? That's illegal. It's probably feral and will attack everyone during the flight. Me, fed up and now peeved that she's talking smack about my cat. Lady, I've asked you multiple times to leave me alone. My cat has a ticket. He's allowed to be here and travel with me. And it seems like he's a lot better trained and well-behaved than your little hellion of a child. Though I'm not surprised he's turning out this way when his mother's behaving like a child herself. Get out of my face before I take the lady's advice and press charges. Flight attendant. Ma'am, she's allowed to have a cat. She is paid for a ticket for her animal. It is perfectly legal and within airline rules. Your behavior, however, is not. This is my last warning to you. Please leave this passenger alone. The entitled mother is red in the face. She pulls her kid up and starts walking away, and they stand up about 5 feet from me, glaring at me. I'm now weary and keeping my eye on them. She whispers something to him, and before I know it, he's running at me full speed and basically aiming for my cat carrier. I don't know what he planned to do, but my mama cat instincts kicked in and I stuck my leg out just in time. The kid jumped and basically fell onto my boot, effectively blocking him from landing on my cat, while also gleaning a scream from me because, yeah, that hurt. The flight attendant has had enough. She calls for security and then comes to check on me, as I'm now crying along with the spawn of Satan. He ran to his mommy and the entitled mother is now holding him and she looks ready to tear into me. Entitled mother, why would you hurt my child like that? You witch. Me, why would you send your kid to attack me or my cat? This is the second time he's gotten hurt doing stupid things you told him to do. Entitled mother, I would never. Kid, but mom, you did say to sit on the kitty's box and squish him as hard as I can. Entitled mother to her kid, shut up, that's not what I said. Security arrives and the flight attendant tells them that they need to remove a passenger. Entitled mother, for some reason, thinks she's still in the right and steps aside, telling the guys, she's right here, take her away, she hurt my kid. The flight attendant and I share a gobsmacked look before she turns to entitled mother. Flight attendant, ma'am, you and your child will not be allowed to fly with us today. Security will escort you out and your bags will be retrieved when possible. Please gather your things and follow these gentlemen. Entitled mother looks like someone slapped her with a fish. What do you mean? She's the one who's being rude. You need to kick her off this flight. I'm fine. I haven't done anything wrong. My son and I will be getting on this plane as he has to be back for summer camp, and we can't afford to find a new flight. So we will be staying. Flight attendant, you will not be allowed on this flight. Not today, not ever. Please leave calmly with these men or they will drag you out. She tries to protest some more, but eventually takes her hellspawn and leaves with security, cussing me out and telling me Jesus has a special place for people like me. And finally, I get to fly in peace. I had to go to the doctor's the next day, and my ankle definitely didn't take those hits well. I'll be in the boot longer than anticipated. The airline called me to get my statement and offered me vouchers as compensation for my troubles and informed me that the passenger has been barred from traveling with their airline in the future. I think they're just happy I'm not pressing charges. My fur baby and I are home and cuddled in bed, and I hope that witch had to spend so much extra money to get her kid home on time. So you tell me, am I the jerk? Wow, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like this one was over 3 times and it just kept going. Did this mother actually send her child to attack a person in a wheelchair and their cat? If the poster's telling the story accurately, that's certainly what it sounds like. This mother has clearly instilled some horrible behavior in her kid, and I do like that the poster actually calls her out on it too. But whether your kid's tired or not, you don't bug the person in the wheelchair. Surely there was a ton of other people just sitting in normal chairs that you could have asked for a seat, or just let the kid sit on the floor. They're a kid. They don't care. I feel like what really sucks about this story more than anything is that these people actually ended up further physically injuring the person in the wheelchair. In a lot of cases, it ends with a bad interaction that you think about when you get home and maybe it bugs you for a few days. But this one ended up actually causing physical pain and extending an injury. Surely even a child knows that this is wrong. Of course, we did establish this was a hellspawn. My aunt became a confirmed Karen when she decided to sue the Jellyfish Museum. Am I the jerk for telling my aunt to stop being a Karen after she wanted to sue the Jellyfish Museum after getting stung by a jellyfish? My mom and I went on vacation and we visited the Jellyfish Museum, which was a massive aquarium dedicated to jellyfish. They must have had every species of jellyfish. It was massive, and it was so cool as they're all so colorful. A few of the jellyfish tanks for some reason didn't have a protective lid on top and it was possible to stick your hand in there. That's a dumb idea for obvious reasons, and it had a label in Ukrainian and English telling you not to touch it. The translation wasn't great, something like "to put hands in the water is forbidden," but you get the point. Well, my aunt decided to touch them. She explained that she's touched many jellyfish and she knows that this species is safe as she's seen them on the beach. I told her that's not a good idea, but she told me to be quiet. She stuck her hand into the tank, and it hurt a lot. She started screaming and yelling at some old Ukrainians who were laughing at her. An employee came over and he barely spoke English, but he said she was stupid for touching the jellyfish. She asked for a manager and how she's going to sue, blah, blah, blah. I was fed up and I just told her to shut up, and my mom told me I needed to respect authority. I said no, my aunt was stupid and we should leave the employees alone. We went over to a clinic and she was fine. She wants to sue them and I told her to stop and it's her fault. Most of my family agrees, however, my mom is on her side. So am I the jerk? No. Not at all. Stupid people need to be told they're stupid sometimes or they will continue to do stupid things. This is a perfect example of Darwinism. She's acting like a child. Without someone there to correct her, she's just gonna walk into traffic or something apparently. This is just a matter of having a head on your shoulders. But to turn around and start harassing the employees and threatening to sue, it's just the ultimate Karen move. Karen thinks I'm useless as an employee since I'm disabled. Except I don't work here. For context, I use a walking stick for mobility. I'm 29 and I look a bit younger, so I do encounter random and rude folk armed with misconceptions about disability. Anyway, I was in a large supermarket on my own. I was browsing some condiment jars when a woman comes up to me. This woman was a good bit older than me, dressed in a business suit, and had the look of someone who thought their crap didn't stink. She asked me where the bread was. I was taken off guard, so I had to pause to think as I was about to respond. Her. God, how do you not know where it is? You work here. Are you new? The employees wore black trousers and green polo shirts. I was wearing a black maxi skirt and baggy pink t-shirt. Me. I don't work here, but I think the bread is down towards the bakery. Her. Are you going to take me there or do I have to get the manager? Me. Look, I don't work here. I'm trying to do my shopping. Head to the bakery and I'm sure the bread will be there. I turn to leave and she clocks my walking stick. She obstructs my path away, knowing I'm not very able to dodge her. Her. Why do they let cripples like you work here anyway? You're useless. Me. For the last time, I don't work here. I'm just doing my shopping. Now leave me alone or I'll get an employee. At this point, an employee springs into action and tells the woman that I don't work here, but he can help. She walks off, tutting something about useless millennials. The employee told me he'd seen her hassling me and asked if I was alright. I said I'd be fine, but thanked him for bailing me out of the situation. He likely doesn't get paid enough for dealing with this nonsense. So tell me, am I the jerk? And here we have another entitled person that doesn't understand what a disability is. Little bit of personal insight here. I'm 32 and I had to walk with a cane for a couple of months. And there would be times where I was on the bus asking someone to move so I could sit, and they would raise their eyebrow at me, maybe wondering whether or not I was really in need of the cane or I just wanted a seat. I don't know. So sadly, yes, these people do exist. But I can't say I really understand their way of thinking. I feel like you have to be in a pretty low place to fake a disability. But I feel like to automatically assume that someone is faking is really just as bad. Not to mention the fact that she was told multiple times they don't work there. Whatever your issue may be, they're just a stranger shopping, same as you. Leave them alone. Overly religious landlord has forgotten how to love thy neighbor. I wasn't really sure where to put this, but I felt like I wanted to put it in writing, now that the whole thing is over. I had a small bakery and rented a space in a boutique shopping center that offered businesses all run by women. The landlord was super religious, and so were most of the other business owners. I live in the South, so it is expected. I'm an atheist. Being in the South, I kept it very quiet and never said anything about it to her, but had no issue with her and her religion. I had a great relationship with everyone at the shopping center, including my landlord, until about 10 months into my 1-year lease, when a woman who wanted my space found out about my atheism and outed me to the landlord. Cue a sharp decrease in the amount of business from other vendors. Sudden, loud religious music being played in the common areas of the center, which I could hear through my windows and closed door. Then a 25% rent hike to only me after being told that rent would not increase. And finally, when I still didn't leave and instead renewed my lease, a flat-out termination of my lease with no stated reason. The renewal never happened, according to her. In between the rent hike and the lease termination, she apologized to me for treating me badly, stating Jesus wouldn't want people to treat her that way. She said that finding out I was an atheist when she believed me to be a Christian had just really thrown her and she didn't know how to treat me. Everything culminated when she changed the locks on my business door 2 weeks before my lease term was up. I got my keys back, shut down my business, and slowly began to move things out, even though she demanded that I move out immediately. I had put several $1,000s into redecorating the space and getting proper electrical lines run so that I could operate. Over the year, I had blown all of my savings on that business. At the end of my time, I cleaned the space, moved out all of my stuff, and left it in better condition than when I moved in. I took lots of pictures at the beginning and end of the lease and documented everything in writing. The person who outed me also had a bakery and promptly moved into my space and changed nothing in the decor. I calmly waited 60 days for a return of my $400 security deposit. I've also been a paralegal for 15 years and took a year-long hiatus to try to run this business. On the 61st day, I had an attorney in my firm write a letter to the landlord demanding the statutory amounts owed to me, $1,400. What I got in return was a call from her lawyer to mine telling me to back off and that if I attempted to get my security deposit back, they would call my boss and get me fired. And they would sue me for defamation for a comment I had made on my personal Facebook saying that I thought my lease was terminated because I was an atheist. So I waited the required time frame and filed suit for the $1,400 plus attorney fees. They promptly countersued me for defamation, fraud, and a whole racket of other things, and wanted $10,000 at a minimum. They claimed that I had caused significant damage to the property and that I had stolen items that belonged to the landlord. I quietly wait for them to prosecute the case. They do nothing. After about 5 months, they offer me $400 to settle. I tell them to screw off. Several more months pass. No discovery, no hearings, nothing. After a year, I filed a no evidence motion for summary judgment asking that all of their claims be dismissed. They didn't respond. Judge granted my motion. Then I filed a motion for summary judgment for $5,000 in attorney fees plus the $1,400 in statutory damages. I attached pictures, emails, text messages, and all sorts of other proof that every one of their claims relating to why they didn't refund the deposit were complete fabrications. Their attorney called wanting to settle for $1,000. We told them no way. We wanted all $6,400. They didn't respond to my second motion for summary judgment. Hearing was scheduled for last Friday. On Wednesday, we get a settlement offer of $4,500. My attorney counters with $54. They accept. After 18 months, I got my cashier's check for $5,400 today. I know she treated me like crap and booted me out because I didn't hold the same religious beliefs that she had assumed I did. Then she felt like she could get away with stiffing me the $400 deposit. Because of her jerkery, she paid an additional $5,000. And the last, most beautiful part, my lawyer was free because I did all of my own paperwork and he just signed off on it and talked to the other lawyer a couple times. Her lawyer, definitely not free. I'm glad it's over. And maybe, just maybe, she'll be a slightly better landlord in the future. What a jerk, right? Well, you said it. I really hope she learned her lesson. That is not any way to do business. You're asking for a lawsuit. Religion should never be a factor in anything like this. At the end of the day, if she keeps the place clean, there's no issues, and she pays her rent, what she does on her own time is none of your business. But what can I say? At the end of the day, it's just a jerk who decides to be offended by someone else's choices. It does suck that the poster wasn't able to get their business up and going, but I hope that they were able to relocate and get something started. In the meantime, as they said, this case is over. They don't need to worry about it anymore. You got them good. Just move forward from here. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. Put the playlist on in the background to finish listening to all the stories, linked at the top of the description. And if you like Am I the Jerk, give Am I the Genius a shot, linked in the description as well. Either way, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.